Hi guys, welcome back to Honest Straightforward Reviews. Today I am excited to bring to you guys a physical, side-by-side physical between the Beats Studio Pro on my left hand and the Bose QuietComfort. Just to confuse everything, Bose decided after having the Bose QuietComfort 20s, the QuietComfort 35 second generation, 45, that they're going to come out with just QuietComfort. They're just going to call it QuietComfort and take out the numbering system, and somehow we got to understand that this is the latest one right now. So this just got released somewhere at the end of 2023. I've got an unboxing of it proper up top right hand corner for both of them. So Bose has done that, so they have graced us with this. The only way you can tell the difference between the latest and greatest is this color. So this color is unique to the latest edition, and even though I've bought it, it's not my favorite color. I'll be comparing the unboxing first of all throughout this video, and then I'll be doing a physicality side by side of both of them. I'll go through the pros and cons, the apps or the lack of apps that you get, the design, the comfort, the call quality, like calling people, and the mic quality in that, and in the end I'll talk about sound and my verdict. Let's get this unboxing started. So the Beats, even though I like the unboxing, has lost a lot of its flamboyance. Okay, as you can see, it's very plain, very dull compared to what Beats was known for. So what I like is the recycled material, okay, and the lack of plastic around, but this bit is plasticky as well. Okay, so I like that about this. However, it's lost its iconic Beats flamboyance. Looking at the QuietComfort, they've always been like this. All right, so they're nice and quiet with a tiny bit of splash of color here. They're pretty good in the back as well. Not too much information for my liking. Pulling it out is very easy. This is nice and thin paper, but it is not recycled. Okay, so that's what I want you guys to get. Normally Bose, they did not have these flaps, so more trees being killed here. All right, and they've got this, and inside you just get the booklet and that. So that's basically it. So the headphones sit in this, and then you'll have the headphones. So that's basically it for the unboxing of this. Looking at the Beats Studio Pro, on the other hand, you've got the nice looking box. You know, it looks kind of cool, but they're using a bit too much paper for my liking still, and you get a bit of booklets as well. Again, I don't know, this is just a fashion thing, I think, with these headphone companies. I don't think there's a reason for them to have this. And that's basically it for the Beats unboxing box experience. A lot bigger, the box is a lot thicker as well. Let's look at what you get inside these. So the pouch is a bit smaller. It has a nice material feel to it. I like it. You know, the zip is hiding between the material. That's pretty cool, and it's nice and tiny, not too big, not too shabby at all. On the other end, however, the Bose has a very nice leathery feel to it. I don't know if this is real leather or not and whatnot, but it does feel nice, and it's got this little flap over here. Let's give this guy an open. So this has, again, a bit of plastic and fabric. Opening it up is nice and easy. You get the headphones inside, and you get two cables. So one is the charging cable, so it's a USB-C to USB-C cable, which is fantastic to see. I like seeing USB-C to USB-C finally. And the other one is 3.5 to 3.5 audio jack on the other side. So this is the first time that the Beats have come out without a remote. Normally they have a remote on that, which I personally find quite useful, but they've taken it out. So all right, so these are the Bose. Let's give these guys an open. Looking inside, so you get the headphones with these things around it, just foams to stop it banging around which is what I like to keep with my headphones. Because I have so many, I don't get to use them all the time, so I like to use them with this. If you buy them, I would definitely recommend to keep all of this with it, just to package it. At least this one, it really stops it from banging around. And on the other side, you have the signature Bose pouch. You get the annoying 2.5 to 3.5 audio jack, just to make life difficult, so you can't just plug in any audio jack. And then you get a USB-C to USB-A charging cable with it in this pouch. That's basically it for these. Let's look at the design, guys. Now, looking at the design, first of all, no bending. Okay, so just it turns in, it closes inwards, but it doesn't turn. So the Bose has that extra feature where it closes inwards, also bends if you need it to. So things like that. So it's a lot better for packaging and carrying it around. Now, looking at both of these, the main thing that I like about them is the inclusion of actual buttons. So volume buttons, clicking, all of this. This does feel a bit cheap, on the cheap end, okay? Outdated a bit, but it's still that signature Beats design. This has these, turns on through a button as well, turns on through a button as well on this side. So both of them are fantastic in that regards. The cup and everything has been reduced a tiny bit on the Beats Pro, and that is it to report on this, and I'll get into the cups in a bit as well. The rest of it is the same silicone kind of band here. It's still got the same sturdy, stiff, rigid kind of clamp around your head. That can be useful when you're gymming and things like that. It's got that. What they have gotten rid of is the Beats logo. Okay, so there's no longer Beats logo, but you have the Beats. On the other hand, the Bose is exactly the same. The only way, like I said, you can tell the difference between the Bose, between the old ones and the new ones, are the color. There's nothing else. The placement of the logo, the mics to noise cancellation mics, the slanted speakers, everything is the same. Now, what I do like about the design of these are the slanted speakers. They're a must on headphones. These are flat. Beats are flat, the Bose aren't, and that is important. Your ears are in a slant. You need these to be in a slant to complement them properly. You've got fake, I think, leather here, and it's leather here, the cups, and they've gotten rid of those little marks they used to have with creases on it, the leather, but they've gotten rid of that completely. You can hardly see any creases here, and that's basically it. Bose trialed and tested design. I really like them. I can't fault them at all. Let's talk about some of my gripes. Now, I'll start off with the Beats, and the reduction of ear pads and the size of the ear cups have made it a bit more stringent as to whom would find these comfortable. So a lot of people wouldn't find them comfortable with anything bigger than a small head. So medium ears, large head, large ears, or anything like that. Any of those combinations, you would not be too comfortable with these. They'll be a bit too tight, a bit uncomfortable. The most I can get them comfortably is in an hour. After an hour, I do feel quite a bit of ear fatigue. Those are the faults. Another thing that generally with the fault of design is these little grooves here. Okay, so how it's sitting here, there's a gap here, so wind gets into that and makes a lot of noise around your ears, and it's right there. So the noise cancellation with wind doesn't work that well, especially when it's considering with other earphones, and that's a real downfall. So if you're running in these, you will hear the wind. Even on a slight windy day, these things don't help. Whereas these guys, the wind reduction is quite good. The noise cancellation, they're well known for, they're pretty good. However, in this one, they have dropped the ball a bit. It's not as good. The noise cancellation for this, they used to be class leading. So noise cancellation on these are no longer class leading. So that's straight away. They're a bit better than the Beats. What they do excel on is comfort. They're absolutely comfortable. They're about 240 grams. These are 270 grams, and they're on the lighter side of things. But giving this the comfort, it's absolutely light and comfortable. That's in the name. That's what you get them for. You can have them on your ears for hours and hours, but what you can't do is work out with the Bose. The Bose, because they aren't as clampy as the Studios are the only headphones that I will recommend to do any sort of rigorous activity in, where you're lying down or running around and things like that. They do stay put, but with that clampiness, it does have some sort of fatigue as well. This also, with the noise cancellation, the Beats Studio Pro still introduces a bit of a hiss. The hiss is available here as well, not as high as this guy. So this guy, the hiss is quite loud. You can hear it as soon as you pause any of your music. So that's very disappointing. Now, the next thing I want to quickly touch up on is the battery testing. So when I've tested the battery, the Beats wins it by far. This is about just over 27 hours and 14 minutes, whereas this gives you a 31 hour, nearly 32 hours, 31, 45 minutes, something like that I got out of them. So nearly 30, 31, just over 27. So 32, just over 27. So massive difference between the battery life. And this doesn't fast charge either. This charges within 10 minutes. It gives you 4 hours of battery life, which is fantastic. If you're running out and you've noticed your headphones are dead, you're getting into the city and back, it's a 2-hour journey to back from work. That's 4 hours, 10 minutes of charging. You can't go wrong with that. Let's go on to mic, the performance for mic. So a lot of headphones nowadays are connected to your phones, and what happens with that is you have an introduction of the phone calls. So with phone calls, you actually have to test the mics. I have tested both of them. They're pretty good. The noise cancellation on phone calls aren't as good on the Beats Pro. They're a bit better on the Bose. Also, the sound is not as clear. It's a bit muddied and it's a bit muffled on the Beats. So I would have to give the mic, it's not the best ones, but it's a lot better than the Beats. Let's talk about character. The character of both the headphones, especially when it comes to Beats Studio Pro. Okay, I would like to address that before we continue on to the others, talk about sound, talk about the apps and all this stuff. I would like to really touch up on the character. Starting off with the unboxing, straight away you see the Beats have it toned right down. They're no longer this flamboyant black with red bits and gold, and you're pulling it out and it's a signature here by Dre, and it's reflective in silver or gold color and all this flamboyance, you know. The Beats used to be like, the Beats remind me of this young person who's just come of age and he's discovering the world, and he's dyed his hair blonde and he's loud and he wears like colorful clothes and jumps around and talks loudly in the train station and things like that. So that's what Beats used to stand for. Whereas the Bose were like a lot more matured, around 30 to 35-year-old man, comfortable in his own skin, has a good job, doesn't need to prove much, you know. He knows what he's capable of, and that's what he's doing. So the Bose character to me was like that, and the Beats was like this. However, they've both changed for this, and not for the best, I fear. So straight away from the unboxing, you can see from the Beats, it's no longer that flamboyant young guy that you liked, you know, who was loud and would like to party and had all sort of colorful clothing. It's been toned down. There's no longer a flamboyant Beats written all over it, even though you know you've got Beats, and it doesn't have that. It's a bit shy now. It doesn't want to let people know what it is anymore, you know. Before it was out there in your face. Hey, I'm Beats. Look at me, you know. It's lost that. It's lost also the bass heavy profile and the loud profile that a lot of people associate with the Beats. So it no longer has those flamboyance to it. It has the same sort of design, but it's, see, even the B here for Beats, the logo, it's just color matched a bit more to the headphones, so it just doesn't stand out as much. Before they would have put a gold B here or a nice shiny silver B, and it would shine at you, and there'll be another gold one over here, it'll shine with Beats written here, Beats written there. So it's lost a lot of that character. Okay, and if you like that, then you would miss that on this. Other than that, they have improved a few things on it. So the noise cancellation is improved, but not as good as it should be. When it goes to Bose, especially with this color, it feels like they're trying to jump on that flamboyance a bit more. It's like that 35-year-old guy, his girlfriend or wife left him, and he's feeling a bit insecure, and he's going back into the dating game, and he sees he's competing against a lot younger guys who are a bit more flamboyant than him. So he's trying to bring out a bit more color, a bit more flamboyance to be noticed, but it's not really complementing that character that the QuietComfort had built over the years. However, that's basically it. That they're really superficial differences I would like to note to you guys. Let's get back to the review. Let's go on to sound. So I'll start off with the Bose. So the Bose is lacking on every front. I feel that they're not really delivering what they used to, a very nice sound. The Bose used to be a real spot-on sound. When it came to sound, they had a really neutral profile that complemented all sort of music that you heard. Now there's a emphasis I would say over emphasis on other things, and that emphasis goes on to the bass. So it's jumping on the bandwagon of all these other headphones that are having bass-centric headphones. So they've introduced this, so these other bass-centric headphones that are concentrating on bass, and due to that overemphasis on the bass, they miss out on other things. So they're following that bandwagon, and what has happened, it's underpowered other things due to that bass emphasis. So what that bass does is, these headphones, what it has done is it has a bit of the highs that don't sound quite right. It's a bit difficult to explain, but the highs they sound a bit harsh and prude and crude, and I might be nitpicking, but it's not the same Bose that you used to get. They have introduced that sort of harshness, and even the mids aren't as well pronounced because of that bass overpowering that. Now the Beats, surprisingly, normally I'd bang on about how that they aren't clear enough. They're bass-centric headphones. They have a bass-centric profile. This is the first Beats that don't have that bass-centric profile. They're not quite as loud as they were. So this is again going back to that character, what I was talking about, that flamboyant guy. So he is maturing. So in the sense that the neutral sound profile, where you would want your sound profile to be, it's a lot closer to that. Not as close, but closer to it. It still has a bass booster in the settings that you can get, and you can use that bass booster to boost the bass. However, it's not what you are used to, so it's very different. You'll have to have a listen of it. Again, same sort of experience when it comes to higher pitched instruments and louder metallic sounds. It's not that great, and it's not as clear, but you can have a bit of a play with equalizers in different apps, that third-party apps that you can get. However, there's a complete lack of equalizer in these headphones. That is the sound. So they sound similar, and so Beats used to be like this, and Bose used to be like that, for example, with their sound profile, and Beats is now like this, and Bose is now like that. Okay, so they're kind of, everything is closing in together because of I think all these reviewers reviewing things and saying one thing, and most people saying that, and then thinking this is cool and that is cool, and everyone's wanting to be cool, and then saying these things. the Beats had a character, and if you wanted that character, they offered it to you. They no longer do, and it's not really improving the sound for everything. It's a bit improved, but not that much. Now let's go on to the apps. So the Beats has a complete lack of apps. If you go into the Beats, there's not much to see here. You can have the noise cancellation, transparency mode. You can choose what the buttons do. You can personalize your spatial audio, and that's basically it. Have a firmware update. Very, very basic, not much to do, no equalizers, nothing like that. Going into the Bose Music app, first of all, you can see it gives you a bit more information, a bit more flexibility. So you have modes where you can have a quiet mode, aware mode, and you can have your custom ones as well that you can make for commute. You can have the source. Okay, you can't have multi-point connections with this, unfortunately. You can have a shortcut button which has the side custom button. You can choose what you want it to do. Not much. It has an equalizer, just lets you play around with a few things, and reduce tremble or boost it, bass, reduce boost, and things like that. And that's basically it. It doesn't do much. You can control the sound, what it's playing, and you can go into settings and have a bit more flexibility here where you can increase the volume. When you're on a call, you can hear yourself and things like that. But that's basically, it's very limiting. Both of them don't have much to offer when it comes to the app, but at least Bose is trying, and it's got an equalizer. That's much more than what you can say for Beats. Now, the last thing I'd like to talk to you guys about is the price. So in Australia, I'm in Australia, so I'll talk about Australian dollars. Sorry if it offends you, and I should be doing it in American dollars in your opinion, but I am in Australia, and I'm buying these in Australian dollars. I'm living in Australia, and you're here for my opinion, and I believe Australian dollars is pretty good to have a comparison with, just to give you guys a bit of an idea between them. It's not to say, hey, this will be the price for them forever. Okay, nowadays a lot of things, you got to look at this review and also understand that Bose might release a firmware update that'll fix all the sound issues that I'm having. That's the main gripe I'm having with the Bose. Beats might do something like that as well, but what you have to do is look at this review, go test them out, and then make your decision. Okay, so let's go to price again. Price drops and changes. So this is $550, this is $530. So not much of a difference. $20 cheaper, $20 cheaper. However, I have seen the Bose come down to $450. Okay, so $450 for these QuietComfort, which is what I think they should have been priced at $550. They're a bit too much on the pricey side. Other than that, that's basically it. Let's talk about my verdict. Looking at both of them and what I've said about the character and things like that, I think it's completely up to the person why you're getting one of these. So if you're after something that is going to be absolutely comfortable, so if you want something that is absolutely comfortable, 100% comfortable, you just want something you can wear all day and things like that without, if you take these will do. They have pretty good noise cancellation on top of that. The mics are a bit better, the sound is a tiny bit better, and things like that. But the Beats are for people who want that Beats feel. However, I have to say they no longer give that Beats feel, not with the boxing, not with the use, not with the sound profile. And the noise cancellation has been improved, which is a good thing, not a bad thing. And the flamboyance has been reduced quite a bit as well. So personally, I would miss the Beats Pro. I would definitely go for the Bose over them. But if I am living in a world where these are the only two headphones that I have a choice between, if I'm living in the world that I'm living, I'll definitely give this both a miss. I'll go for something else. But between these two, I'd give it to Bose just by a tiny bit. It has a bit more character, and it's a bit more sober, and it gives you a bit more, whereas this is clampy. If you want to go to the gym, if you want something that won't fall off your head, this is still your guy. But have a look around for a Beats Studio 3 wireless. They were really, really good back in the day. Thank you for watching it to the end. Take good care. Bye-bye.